Hey guys, Centurion here. Sadly, I'm still in Denmark. I'm waiting for my visa to arrive. I was told that my visa's approved, so I'm just waiting to arrive by mail. But sadly, it's just the process has been a lot longer than usual due to COVID. So even though I've been playing NA since 2014, I ran into visa issues, which means I will not make it for the Lock In tournament week 1. That being said, Armao will be subbing in for me for week 1, and I'm sure they'll do great. And I will hopefully arrive sometime soon, and hopefully I can play week 2. So it's not the end of the world, and I'm sure we'll still do great. It's just a bump in the road, right? So it's something we got to get over. I hope you guys understand, and can't wait to see you guys.
We have been working with Santorin during our scrims. He's been watching all of our scrims. He's been involved in all of our meetings. We're still really looking forward to when he can get here, either after the first or second week of the Lock In tournament. But also, I think it's a really great opportunity for Armao. I think when a lot of people look at that jungler, they have some pretty negative thoughts. They think to the last time they saw him in LCS, they think to where he wasn't performing well, and they just kind of write him off. I don't think that way about him. I actually think he's a very good jungler and very talented, and in scrims, he's been working very well with our team. So I think this can be a great opportunity for us to still hit the ground running, show that we can be a great team, and also give Armao a chance to kind of prove himself on the LCS stage against other LCS teams again. So I think he's really looking forward to playing, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Hey Armao, good luck this weekend, and I'm sure you're going to kill it.
Welcome back to the LCS Lock In. We're getting a first look at 2 more of these rosters competing here today. And as you just heard from Jat and Santorin, TL is coming into the tournament with Armao in the jungle instead of Santorin right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that full lineup. They've got Alphari in the top lane, Armao subbing in for Santorin there in the jungle, Jensen at mid with Tactical and CoreJJ in the bottom lane. And of course, you know him, you love him, Coach Jat.
Yeah, and Jat himself, he was talking a lot about Armao, and I've actually heard from talking to some of the other Team Liquid coaches that Jat has been preaching for Armao for a long time, has been like promoting him. But the other big guy, the big signing, Alphari in the top lane, who actually is here now, even though it took a long time to get the visa, and he's had a total of 2 days of scrim practice with the team. The reason this is such a big signing, and perhaps part of the reason why this big signing is being underestimated, is Alphari was on the 10th place team in LEC Origin. However, he was still so good, still hyped up because #1 in gold difference at 10, experience difference at 10, CS difference at 10, damage per minute. He was still laning like a monster. Lots of counter picks, lots of versatility in the top lane. I think he can bring that versatility to Team Liquid. He was also on the Summer 2020 All-Pro team for the LEC despite being on that 10th place team. So I think that is a really big pickup. I'm glad that he did get here just in time for the Lock In tournament for Team Liquid. But of course, with the other visa issues, we also have to talk about CLG's side. Broxa as well as Finn are unable to compete in the Lock In tournament. So in their places, they have the Academy jungler Griffin, which was formerly Wiggly, who changed his name to his own last name, which is actually Griffin. Not the super young challenger player. Former LCS finalist Solo has the same story that we were talking about last year, where he starts the year unsigned on any Academy or LCS team. He got picked up here for CLG because they don't have the top lane, and I actually am looking forward to it because I think he was really good last year, deserved the spot, and it was kind of crazy that once again he started the year unsigned, but you know things happen, and now he's in there, so he's gonna be in there with Pobelter and WildTurtle as well as Smoothie, as you see the current CLG lineup on your screen right there. Regardless of these new pieces, though, I do think that CLG crafting a team with Pobelter and WildTurtle does give them a strong base. I know a lot of people have started to look down on players that are far in their careers, and there's this like bias against players with long careers, like they don't have any room for improvement. But last year I really did think WildTurtle started to play better. After he got benched, he came back super motivated and played better at the end of the split and at Worlds than we had seen previously. So I think he was on the up and up.
Well, he's definitely going to have to bring his A game today going up against Team Liquid. Even if TL is fielding a substitute jungler, there's a reason that everybody has this roster at either number 1 or number 2 in their preseason predictions. They're looking really, really strong. They've got a lot of proven pieces, and we'll see what CLG is able to do up against them here today. Quick announcement for y'all as we get into Champion Select. There will be a bit of a delay after Champion Select before we're able to get into the game once again. Hopefully not as long as last time, but we are experiencing a couple of client issues for some of the players. So we got people behind the scenes. We're going to resolve it as swiftly as possible, but I'm not going to pretend like I know how computers work. I don't even know how to. So
Yeah,
whatever sort of magic they're working behind the scenes, that's their magic. I'm here to talk.
Yeah,
so let's get in.
Fair enough. I do feel like you go a little overboard sometimes on the self-deprecating humor. You have got some idea. You've got a little inkling here. Flowers knows a bit. Let's get through the ban phase, though. He definitely knows about the ban phase. We talked about Akali last time around in the previous game.
Yes, sir.
Does not get through in this game. On the ban table right here, they don't want to let Jensen have it. I think she should stay in the first round of bans for sure. Not as much jungle focus this time around, but the Olaf and the Taliyah conspicuously leaving up the Graves Nidalee matchup, which we've seen evolve in the LCK as a lot of first pick Nidalees. If you're super confident in your Nidalee, in your jungler, I actually think this is a huge force here on the jungle. I think this is a really well crafted opening for pick ban phase, because if you then leave it in the hands of CLG and Griffin here, they're probably going to go right into the Graves. And while it's not a super lopsided matchup, you get these kind of micro advantages as Nidalee with being able to start with multiple traps for Raptors, being able to do Raptor clear super quick for your red side, or being able to do the spear start into buff camp, and having this small advantage of the AP into Graves and opening up flexibilities of possible AD solo laners for Team Liquid.
All right, so our 6 bans here at the start: Taliyah, Renekton, Lilia, Olaf, Akali, Pantheon, with Kai'Sa and Graves both picked up here in that first rotation for CLG. We got to see Graves in the previous game. Didn't have a fantastic game there, being piloted by Spica. We'll see if Griffin has a better time with it this time around. And we got to see last game what Kai'Sa is capable of doing here in 2021.
We did, but she didn't have to play against a Camille. And I was looking for the AD solo lane that they were setting up with this early Nidalee. It's Camille, one of my favorites because there's so much playmaking in this champion. So effective if you get small windows to roam away from your top lane as well. As a jungler, I love pairing with a Camille. Nidalee Camille is insane kill pressure. They can both go invading together. They can basically engage on you over any jungle wall with the hookshot from Camille. So that's an incredibly scary top side of the map. Team Liquid, Jat was talking about how they've been training with Armao a lot on those types of things. And even though Alphari only has had 2 days here, I have full confidence in his Camille. This Annie hover over, by the way, is a solo queue joke, because Jensen's been spamming Annie in solo queue, and I've heard so many of the pro players coming to me talking about it. They're like, is this some kind of mind game? Is he actually going to play some Annie here? What's going on with all these Annie games in solo queue? And it's like blowing people's minds. So that's just
is he good at it, or is he running it down?
He is good at it. Like, Annie is a legit good champion since they added the speed with her shield. It's not like as brainless and just, flash combos as before. You have some options with the champion. I just thought that was really funny that it actually showed up in the LCS more as a joke than it did actually as a true Team Liquid threat of a pick. But
I feel like there's going to be a bamboozle for like a couple of weeks, and then eventually he's just going to lock it in instead of hovering it, and it's going to catch everybody off guard.
That's what he does to calm down. It's like, a few solo queue games of Annie, bring me back to my center.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Press W, press Q, basic spells, season 1, good time. Now, let's go ahead and see how everything is looking, though, as the first half of the draft is done. Kai'Sa, Graves, and Sett against Nidalee, Camille, and Syndra. Second part of the bans are coming through now. We've got Misfortune banned away by CLG. Team Liquid taking the Orianna off the table. Want to keep one of those staple mid laners away from Pobelter.
Yeah, they're trying to whittle down on a lot of these control mages. They've been very popular. It's basically Akali and the control mages has been the mid lane pools here. And Pobelter, one of the most successful champions that he has piloted for CLG, right when he joined the team, you remember the Oriana games where they were actually able to get victories off of some of these shockwaves. So good ban here from Team Liquid. I expect them, maybe Victor as well, to follow it up. Victor's really risen in priority since they changed his passive. You don't have to buy the Hex Core anymore, and you can get your upgrades off of minions or champion takedowns. It makes it a lot more effective. They opt for the Jax instead.
Jax ban.
It is a difficult Camille matchup, even though we've seen in the LCK these Camille's winning the Camille versus Jax matchup. That doesn't mean just because they won it that it's not a Jax favored matchup there. So I do like that ban regardless, and we get another Twisted Fate.
Okay, Twisted Fate picked up for Pobelter, and of course the last ban that CLG did go for in that second half was Rel. So keeping that one away from CoreJJ. He's been playing a lot of the new champs, a lot of the new supports in his solo queue adventures. Always wanted to be on top of all that most recent knowledge. And here's one that got banned out in phase 2 of the previous game, being hovered here. Tactical picking up the Samira. I was spectating CoreJJ and Tactical's solo queue games the other day. There was one game that looked completely doomed, and then Tactical had one good fight on Samira, and anybody that's played League of Legends since that champion has come out knows exactly what happens once you have one good fight with Samira. All of a sudden, you're mobile, repeating, resetting. Katarina ulti that crits and lifesteals gets to go through every team fight like a lawnmower, and she just destroys it all. Especially when paired like a champion with Leona, who also wants to go in. That is a scary bot lane.
Yep, crowd control is what you want in spades when you have Samira. And guess what? They've already got it. Camille, Syndra, and Leona all going to be locked in here for Team Liquid. So they have plenty of things to set up Tactical, who honestly was the most hype part for me about Team Liquid last year. The fact that he came in as a rookie was one of the main carry forces for the team, even at World, didn't buckle under the pressure, is so big and speaks so much for the growth of Team Liquid. Final lock-in, though, the Malphite for solo. Also another really good tank option versus the Camille, since the Jack is off the table there. And you can focus your Twisted Fate towards the Samira, which even if he takes cleanse, that extra pressure means so much. Whenever you have a Samira lock-in, it really does cause both teams to focus a lot more towards the bottom side of the map because, as you mentioned, can snowball super effectively.
And the Malphite picked into the Camille. They banned the Jax away because they wanted to remove that difficult matchup, that skill matchup there. But Malphite is always one of those old reliables that you can pick into an AD up on the top. Just sort of slow his attack speed down, scale up a little bit, get bonked on the head a couple of times, but it doesn't matter because you're Malphite. And then you just reach the team fights, and you've got that big ulti to make some plays with.
Yeah, super effective champion. And solo, as a player, as always talked about, I'm willing to do whatever the team needs. Famously coined the term glue player last year when he was picked up. And, he just does whatever the team needs to stick together, Flowers.
There's got to be a cooler name.
I think it's the most hilarious one, so I'm going to keep using it every time he comes back. And it actually is apt here as he fills in. He picks the Malphite, the main engage. They've got Malphite, Twisted Fate, perfect for picking off junglers, so you have to be really wary there. And a lot of the possibilities are going to be turned towards that bottom side of the map. Of course, they're probably not going to focus towards the Malphite on top side early on, so a lot of it is going to hinge on these Drake setups.
And, hey, the word glue fits into CLG as well. Counter logic glue. That's what this team's going to have to rename themselves into if Solo ends up saving this one from a bad situation like he's done with teams in the past. But on the Malphite, he's not about hard carrying the game himself, unless he does some super cheesy ballistic missile AP build. But I'm highly doubting we're going to see that in competitive play. Instead, I'm expecting more of the front line on the Malphite here. CLG also having Pobelter on that Twisted Fate. Remember that in the past, Pobelter has done some pretty amazing things on teams that otherwise seemed like they had no win condition. He pulled out a couple of wins seemingly from his magic hat, and I want to see what sort of form he's going to be in starting off this lock-in tournament.
Yeah, super excited to see. Again, we always talk about how important it is for the first couple plays with your Twisted Fate 2. Don't want to make those mistakes early because you lose out on the first stages of gaining your map control, because Vision is so staged base where you get to first take control of your river, then you get to go in for deeper wards, and then you get to make off your big pick-off plays. The first couple of Twisted Fate ultimates really do carry a lot of weight.
I still can't remember that DOPA thing either. I've been thinking about it for the entire break, trying to remember what the actual information was, and my brain is just drawing a complete blank.
Here's what you do.
I apologize.
Fast push the wave and roam. Fast push wave, roam with jungler. Fast push wave, roam with jungler.
Well, there we go. And he's got a Graves to be roaming around with, so plenty of damage between the two of them. Point and click means no way for Graves to miss his skill shots either, so the QR is guaranteed once that gold card connects. A lot of scary possibilities here for these guys. You already said that you're expecting to see a lot of the early focus, a lot of the early action around this bottom lane with the Samira Leona lane down there. They always want to go in. That's just how they keep themselves going, and we'll see how true that rings. As you can see, the champions running out onto the rift right now. We are ready to go here for game 2.
Hell yeah, ready to go. All right, let's see if we get any more level 1s, as we did, of course, have the delayed one last game, with resulting in the counter jungle. Honestly, not as much of a scary lineup for the level 1 for the possibilities of catching someone here, but you can try and bully them out. And again, with the Nidalee having those options, you can always tell where she's going to start if you start your traps first on your Raptors and lay down your traps by your Raptors. You then pull them into the other trap after you get your reset for your clear. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Lays down the ward into a sweeper purchase, as is very common. Ooh, pink over to possible delayed invade once again.
One thing I am looking at here, worth pointing out too, if we're going to get a level 1 invade, both AD carries did take cleanse here in this matchup. Tactical taking it for later on when he's going to have to deal with the gold cards from the Twisted Fate, and you can see WildTurtle recognizing against Leona cleanses. Definitely a good thing to have in your back pocket as the delayed invade is coming through. Clock reads 1:30.
Big dodge.
A little bit of damage flying out from Team Liquid, but CLG is unhindered. They will continue marching forward. Another spear flies out, finds its way into Smoothie this time, who is down to half HP, but considering he's Sett, he's still feeling all right about that one. Smoothie with the flash over the wall just does not want to risk anything right here. So all in all, that invade costs CLG 1 summoner spell.
Yeah, and again, it is, you always run Hex Flash on Sett, so it's not as big a deal. That's why for level 1s, we always set up, the Sett player looking for that engage. But you never want to have to blow it to get nothing like that. And it is just going to be CLG calling off their delayed invade. As you said, unsuccessful is going to mean slightly quicker start for Armao as well. And with the extra move speed there, as Smoothie Hex flashes out, they do have the Tribe Rush warded already, so they should be able to continue to play aggressively.
No crazy invades being successful means no strange pathing from either jungler this time around. Remember that that's what started the fight, that 3v3 in the topside river of game number 1.
That was definitely an ill-advised counter jungle there. No mid lane pressure, no top lane pressure. Definitely have to work off your lanes as well. And Team Liquid, Armao should have the advantage there. Obviously, Camille on top side going to be able to push in Malphite. And mid or bottom side engage.
Ooh, already going in on WildTurtle, and there's the damage coming out first. Blood to tactical Samira. He doesn't even die in return. CoreJJ continuing to chase. There's your Zenith Blade and your stun. Smoothie already used the Haymaker earlier. He don't have it, and Tactical's got 2.
Tactical and CoreJJ, they are going to be front runners for bottom lane of the split. My goodness, he doesn't waste any time, Flowers. You've been talking about CoreJJ running these in-houses, just completely smashing everyone. CoreJJ and Tactical, they make it look good. Let's look how close it is, though. Because they engage into the big minion wave here, the damage on the backside is actually kind of big. CoreJJ goes in immediately on the Kai'Sa, and Tactical immediately cleanses out of the extra stun there and is barely able to dash right back out. Not dying. CoreJJ finds the follow-up engage, so they get 2 out of it. Even with the small extra damage from minions, there's no more spells left here for Smoothie, so just played so well by CoreJJ and Tactical. And you see the full commitment. Tactical's like, all right, you dodge the other side of the Sett pullback. I'm just going to instantly cleanse it. They get the kill onto WildTurtle. Summoners definitely traded, but huge, huge advantage for the side of Team Liquid. And we mentioned in Champ Select the snowball, the scary monster that is Samira, Season 11. That is the worst thing if you've been playing preseason and you see bottom lane double kill at 3 minutes into the game for enemy Samira. That's a big okay.
Oh, CoreJJ making the roam to mid. Pobelter with some quick feet and some quick emotes to make sure that he avoids the CC coming out from both enemy players. Tactical, meanwhile, just happy to sit underneath the turret, pick up this wave down here. And yeah, you were talking about the in-houses that happened during the offseason. And one thing that consistently set CoreJJ apart from his opponents in those in-houses is seemingly in every single possible matchup, which, remember, is a lot more detailed when you're doing a 2v2 lane than just a 1v1 lane because it changes when any one of those champions is switched out. CoreJJ always knows who's stronger, when they're stronger, when he should be engaging, what that engage involves, how to play it, especially early on. CoreJJ's engages around level 2 and level 3 almost always result in a kill because he just knows everything about the bottom lane matchups. The man is a League of Legends encyclopedia.
Well, he's certainly one of the front runners as well for support MVP, as he earned that award previously in the LCS. The way that it changes, though, for the bottom side, now with Samira getting so much money, also getting both last hits on those kills here for Tactical, you have so much more survivability. He's rushed into the lifesteal plus the cloth armor here. So Samira just gets to commit to these all-ins, and you have to respect it. You don't get to go for the attempt at the counter kill. He's just too far ahead with a double kill that early on, plus extra stacks here off the dragon, as Armao is going to take advantage of the winning bottom lane. Hey, great. Good job, Tactical CoreJJ. We have full control of this. We'll start earning objectives off of it then.
Exactly like you were talking about earlier. Play around Samira, take the Drakes early on as long as she's successful. Tactical with about a 1-wave advantage in terms of farm down here. Nothing to write home about, but already having the 2 kills feels great. Smoothie and WildTurtle moving up as Griffin joins them here in the bottom lane. That was about the lowest effort gank. They just ran right at him, and the other guys ran away. Sometimes that's the way it goes, as Alphari trades very effectively into solo up here in the top lane. We haven't really been talking about top lane that much. You mentioned in Champ Select that it's not going to be the focus here early on, but Alphari is quietly 4 waves ahead. It'll be about 3 waves ahead after solo picks up most of these here underneath the turret. So he's having a great time up here on the Camille.
Yeah, it's a full resident sleeper Malphite type of lane. You just get pushed in, you try and get as much CS as you can, and you say, hey, I'm doing my job, playing for the team. I'm the glue man. Meanwhile, Alphari gets the farm to his heart's content on the Camille. That's why you see him highest money. Perfect execution on a lot of these trades that he's going for too. Still chunking down solo, forcing him off of CS, as you can see, holding him to only 53. Very well done here by Alphari. And as we mentioned, his laning stats from the LEC were insane, despite being on a level or a last place team. Consistently still able to smash people in lane, and no surprise he can do that with the Camille Malphite matchup as well, especially with jungler information that they've had.
Alphari just continuing to make sure solo is stuck underneath this turret. Goes for the Hextech sweep, just get a little bit of HP back there, trying to poke that shield off of the Malphite. Alphari feeling super comfortable up here until Griffin decides to show up, but they've got him tracked very well. Wards down on the Raptor Pit as that one's being cleared away, and now they know that Griffin is heading up towards that top side of the map. Whether it's his Krugs or his top lane, they're not sure, but you can see Alphari just walking back a little bit, making sure that he's not going to be caught off guard here, but he does have the Tri-Brush ward as well, and now another quick engage onto solo, getting the true damage on the second activation of the Q, making sure he's winning out this trade very handedly, but solo with the knock-up, Hextech ultimatum still going to be there. CoreJJ moving up, keeps Griffin away, stops him from joining up in the fight, and it's Solo who loses out and who has to go back to base, but he can return very quickly with teleport.
Yep, CoreJJ with the early roam. He's invested so heavily into move speed there. Most supports rush their level 2 boots. He's even rushed mobility boots as the level 2, spending big dollars for it. Allows him to get there a little bit quicker as Smoothie's still sitting on pieces. And it is still going to be Team Liquid running the map on objectives. You see them doing Rift Herald while Jensen takes a 1v1 with Pobelter.
And Pobelter down to 100 HP, trying to get away from Jensen, has to flash to do it. Griffin coming around. Oh, Jensen He tries to flash away from it. He still gets hit by the secondary, and WildTurtle with a Void Seeker from all the way over in the jungle picks up the kill. Meanwhile, top lane, it's Solo barely walking away yet again. The man lives on death's door right about now.
Yeah, I could tell CoreJJ a little bit disappointed. Tactical can't get it done there, but Malphite too tanky, bro. On the top side, can't finish him off under the turret despite all of the extra tower shots tanked. But man, WildTurtle, talked about it in the intro, but him last year, I thought he started playing really, really well, improving after he got benched. He was so motivated. He's always been known for landing these super long-range skill shots. Finds the W snipe onto Jensen for the big moment to give CLG some hope.
Exactly. Getting them on the board, keeping the gold lead under 1,000. CLG's keeping the game closer against Team Liquid than TSM did against 100 Thieves. So they've got a better situation early on than what we saw in the previous matchup. So they just got to make sure that they don't allow TL to start making plays and continue snowballing this Samira forward. Let's take another look at the replay here in the mid lane of how Jensen almost got Pobelter.
Yep, starts it out with that stun, and then we saw a lot of the footsie work here with the spheres. Pobelter trying to play mind games, dodge out, and is able to get the gold card and get enough distance to at least make Jensen take that extra tower shot, which makes him worried enough to flash about the extra damage. He did yoink that minion before it was going to do enough to finish him off, but Turtle gets him on the corner. It is blind, but you assume the direction that he's going to try and kite is up and around that corner, so very well placed from WildTurtle using the information that he had.
Bottom lane, Rift Herald summoned up there, gets some damage onto the turret with the plates, but not able to take it down all the way here just yet. Griffin continuing to farm in his jungle, has about the exact same as Armao, less than one camp separating the two of them. As Tactical and CoreJJ maintain their control over bottom side. You can see on your screen right about now, Tactical, the richest man on Summoner's Rift right now, 500 gold ahead of the next person, which is Pobelter. And then right behind Pobelter, WildTurtle and Armao, pretty much tied exactly, 2 gold apart between them.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of the game is kind of a domino effect off of a level 2 or 3, was it? Double kill for Samira. You know, 3 minutes into the game. That just, it changes the whole way that you want to play a game when your bottom lane gets a double kill that early on. We've had constant roams from CoreJJ since then because it makes Samira so confident in being able to hold on bottom side. And once again, he's trying to use his mobility boots.
Pobelter wants to get away here, but CoreJJ is bringing down the ulti. Gets the slow, not the stun. Zenith Blade buffering through the gold card, following it up there with the Shield of Daybreak. Goodbye, Pobelter, or is it? Nope, it is. See you later. Who are they going to give the kill to? It's Jensen.
Yeah, every time someone runs into the wall by the pit, you're like, does he have flash? No, he does not. Yep, it's just.
Yep, that's what I did. I had to take just a second there to check.
Honestly, though, for Team Liquid, being able to continue to snowball on these neutral objectives is so nice for them. Like we were saying, CLG have had a hard time trying to recover from the loss of so much power from their bottom side. Dragons immediately stacked by Team Liquid as soon as they're arriving. 4 minutes left on the next Mountain Drake, and Mountain Soul is definitely one of the powerful ones, especially for this type of squad with the extra shields. Alphari on the top side should easily continue to be able to farm up for himself, and he's getting kind of close to the Trinity Force. More reinforcements on the way.
Armao is here. Hextech Ultimatum trapped Solo. CoreJJ going forward, just trying to make sure that he gets himself an assist. And they guarantee the kill for Alphari. Make sure he continues building up a lead here in this lane. 20 CS and a kill ahead of his opponent now. And Team Liquid are making sure that momentum stays for a while.
Yep, the delivery service here from CoreJJ. He backs off, doesn't take the kill either. Waits for the cooldowns back up for Alphari to feed money into that Camille. Just scales so well with items, so you don't ever want to mess around with trying to steal away any of those. Meanwhile, we'll get a reset towards bottom side. CLG trying to use the information with so many people committing top for Team Liquid that they do get some deep wards over here, but they can't really do anything with those deep wards.
Oh, Smoothie ended up getting yeeted over the wall. And now he's got to deal with the fact that he's about to die. Tactical goes in, Tactical flashes forward, and Tactical is showing you exactly what Samira is made of. Getting stunned as he steps away. Shutdown goes over to Griffin. But look at the amount of black and white screens on CLG. It is a 4-for-1 trade. I'll take that any day of the week. Team Liquid picks up a big fight.
Yeah, that's a big cash in here for Team Liquid. They get 4 members in exchange for the kill onto Samira. That is going to be bottom tower as well. The objectives will just continue to snowball here. Team Liquid expected to be one of the top 2 teams in the LCS, despite having to deal with multiple visa issues and still not having Santorin here. They said, they've been practicing a lot with Armao. Jat especially was very confident in his play. And even though Alphari just came in, previously they were scrimming with Jenkins in the top side. He's only had 2 days of scrims with the team. He hasn't had to coordinate much in this game as the Camille versus Malphite, able to farm it up and get some kills. But this is what we were talking about with the reset on bottom side. CLG had tried to use the opening window of the mobility boots game to top side as an opportunity to get deep vision bottom. And they just get punished so hard for it because there's enough time for Team Liquid to reset back down and try and catch them before they finish their warding operation. And you mentioned it, that blast going over right into the hands of Tactical. He just goes all out with the Samira, chunking them down, and despite losing his own life, also takes out everybody else's HP enough for the rest of Team Liquid to clean up the kills.
I love how the top laners are still featured on the post-fight damage. They just weren't involved. They decided that they were going to be conscientious.
They weren't even trading during that time. Like that would show if they had taken a trade.
They were not doing any sort of PvP during that entire exchange. But man, the game was close. It was 1,500 gold apart, and then after that big fight, all of a sudden you've got a 4.2k lead here for Team Liquid. Thumbs down emoji coming out from CoreJJ as well, telling him exactly what he thinks of their chances here in this game. Team Liquid, they already have 2 Drakes under their belt, and the 3rd is spawning here in 30 seconds, and they have control over everything. You can see how dark the map is right now for CLG.
All right, this is going to be a true test as well. This tower's gone first here. Team Liquid, you can see the extra vision very, very deep already into the jungle. Lines up the double stun.
See ya. That turtle is wild no longer. Goodbye, Mr. Turtle, as CoreJJ goes over the wall here with a Hex Flash. A little bit of CC and damage down onto Solo, but he gets himself away. He was never the target, though. It was all about that Tier 2 turret, and Team Liquid got what they came for.
Jensen. They got the deep vision. They were way past the wards of CLG, so they still should have an idea of them being over there. But Jensen comes out of the shadows, lines up the double stun, full range there, gets WildTurtle on the end through the other member, and then allowing Tactical to finish off that kill. With one of the most annoying things about getting smashed by a Samira is that she just randomly does cartwheels then as she's walking around too. And he's going to knock right out with the extra kill. Back on track. Now 5 kills. Shield bow ready. Steel caps on. And he's ready to make more of the diving plays. Once again, you see on the map, though, CLG try and make a counter. You get a little incursion into Team Liquid territory as soon as Team Liquid take several objectives at once. And, you steal away, a blue buff or one jungle camp or something to try and get
just
out
something.
of there.
Anything at all.
Leave behind a couple wards and run!
Well, WildTurtle at least stopped Tactical's back there at the brush, so that's something. But Team Liquid is in a really good spot here. They've got 4.5 minutes until they can potentially grab themselves a break. CLG is not really in any sort of contest to try to fight that. Oh no, Pobelter trying to use the stasis to buy himself enough time. Now Solo's arrived. Alphari finds himself in a 1v1 against him, but CLG, they do not want to let Alphari get away with this. They're trying to chain the ultis and the CC together. They're even bringing in WildTurtle just to get it done. It took 3 ultis, and Pobelter had to die to start it off, but CLG finally gets Alphari.
Yeah, they say we take those flowers. They got to kill. They're on the board again here for Counter Logic Gaming, and they actually don't give up a whole lot that they weren't going to give up anyway on top side. it is going to be Jensen pushing a little bit of extra damage onto the top turret. But when you are behind like this, you kind of got to make some all-in plays. They get a little bit of money back for themselves. Solo then gets the tower on bottom side too. Some good standing gold there. The outer towers are very valuable. And if Team Liquid holds you without getting any of those and continues to stack up these dragons, you just have no chance. So some little chunks of money here for CLG. They didn't go into the best spots, but you'll take gold anywhere you can actually have it. Here's Alphari's look again at his 1v1 with Pobelter. You know, this is Camille with a 1v1 with Twisted Fate. There's no chance that Twisted Fate wins that. You can't delay it long enough for the collapse from the rest of the team. I like this replay is showing on the minimap. You can see that transition all the way down for Smoothie, who gets a good ultimate into the wall there for Sett, so that you get to just make the most of the CC and buy that amount of time. That being said, this could be hard for CLG to get a lot out of you know, any sort of Twisted Fate play pressure. Pobelter does have his flash and his proto belt ready now, so maybe he can make some miraculous escapes in a couple of moments, but Solo's going to have to make one right now.
Solo tries to walk away, does manage to use the unstoppable force to get all the way back behind the tier 2 turret, but that means Malphite ulti ain't going to be ready for a little while, Mr. Kobe, and that means that Team Liquid is not afraid of that big engage mechanism. They can keep on doing whatever they want to do.
What are they afraid of, then, Flowers?
I don't think they're afraid of nothing. I don't think these boys got a fearful bone in their body right about now. 7,000 gold lead, 5 turrets to 1, 10 kills to 3, 3 drakes to 0. It is looking good for the big blue horse here in game number 1 of their 2021 season.
Yeah, and honestly, when you have this type of luxury that you do on Team Liquid's side, I actually like the style that Alphari is going for. I am a huge fan of Divine Sunder instead of Trinity Forces on a lot of different champions, unless it's a really, really attack speed-based champion, because I just find the max health percentage damage from Divine Sunder. So yes, that's so good. Obviously, he's against Malphite, who's going to have a lot of health, as well as the extra armor, but the extra half of that you heal really, really complements the grass build for Camille and the sustain that you can have with his champion in those long lane fights. If you know, as Camille, you're going to be facing and chasing down split pushers. I just think that item is so good and a really good option besides the Trinity Force, where we always just used to see the same thing rushed over and over. And even though they did change all of the Hydra items or the Tiamat items to not have actives, still very good, although not as fun to use without the extra.
Exactly. The active, unfortunately for Tiamat players, getting switched over to the new Iron Spike whip, but 25 seconds remain until our 4th Drake of the game. Do or die here for CLG. They give away the soul if they surrender one more Drake. Jensen with a little bit of poke onto Solo. Jensen trying to get himself away now, but the damage is coming out back onto CLG as well. They're still continuing after Jensen, but he's buying time here with a stasis. Jensen flashing away, keeps himself alive, somehow still surviving this one. And Team Liquid, baby. Samira might be spinning around with all them bullets, but you might as well turn it into a mop because she cleaning everybody up in this fight. 4 for nothing. They went all in on the Jensen pick, and they could not get it. Team Liquid feeling great.
Oh my goodness, he comes out of the zone, gets the heal, flashes to the other side, tactical with a Samira ult while you're protected by your team. Is like dream scenario, because usually Samira is going to have to go in with the engage on the hard CC, and you're in risk of getting hit from hard CC from your opponents. But if CLG are using their hard CC on the engage to start the fight out, Griffin is toast.
Ooh. Yep, see you later, buddy. And he wasn't even able to steal the Drake away either. It's still Mountain Soul for Team Liquid, but now it's Mountain Soul plus Baron for Team Liquid. 23 minutes into the game, they honestly should just be able to finish with this Baron.
True, true. I do not expect this Red Bull Baron buff to expire before the game ends. Let's make a bet on that. Before this game, we were wondering, you know, what's the time estimates here. A couple of bets on this game. Looks like I'm going to say they can end it with the Baron buff. That's still pretty risky. Only 2 minutes, 20 seconds. But I think Team Liquid actually are in a position to just shove all the way through to the Nexus. Let's see if they can pull it off.
By around 26 minutes. It'll be about a 26-minute finish here. So let's see how hard they want to go for this. Alphari continuing to push here in the top lane. CoreJJ rotating up from mid. There's your Hextech ultimatum. Griffin is stuck. Griffin is gone. Tactical's joined up here in the fight. Double kill over to Alphari. Into the back line they go. Spin to win. Team Liquid with your Bud Light ace to end this game. All they got to do is find the closest minion wave, knock those turrets down, and march it straight to the next.
I guess that was too easy of a bet. Not
that was a real easy bet.
Not much of a chance on the other side. Congratulations, Team Liquid, on their first game of the Lockout tournaments. Game number 2 here between Team Liquid and CounterLogic Gaming. And despite having the subs, Armao looks great, and Team Liquid on the board with the dub.
2 very one-sided games here to kick off our 2021 LCS competition. Team Liquid might have been a little bit slower to start than what we saw in the 100 Thieves versus TSM game, but man, once they got a couple of fights...
They got a double kill, Tactical CoreJJ in like 3 minutes. How quick
well, our team got 3 kills. There was a 3v3 instead of a 2v2. 3 is more than 2. I know that much math.
Fair enough. CoreJJ and Tactical just can't make Flowers proud no matter how hard they try. Double kill on Samira, Leona, super early in. I actually am thinking already that I wanted to go back and you know, look at the replay for that one, because one of the cool things to take a little bit closer notice of is cleanse timings in those little skirmishes where it comes down to a couple ticks of Ignite between the AD carries dying or not. I remember Tactical from memory did instantly cleanse on the Sett CC, and I think then you get the Ignite afterwards, but he still didn't die, so it's good usage there. Sometimes you can get double value if you wait for the Ignite and then do it after the CC, try and get everything off you. But aside from that, it was Team Liquid all the way.
Yeah, I know he didn't cleanse the Ignite because the last
it was still burning.
Ignite was still burning after
he Tactical,
Yeah, because he had to flash into the sweet spot of the Haymaker to finish off the kill onto WildTurtle.
Yeah, so you got to examine if Turtle could have used his cleanse better to not ignite and not go down before they get the counter kill.
Exactly. There's might have been some sort of a different angle there for CLG to find a different way to play it. But honestly, this game was just controlled start to finish. Alphari always had control over the top side. You're Camille into a Malphite in a game where neither one of the junglers come up there. So you're going to feel pretty great about that. We saw the play in mid lane. The WildTurtle Void Seeker snipe onto Jensen as he tried to go for kill on the Pobelter and barely missed out on it. Yeah, that was the high point for the side of CLG, because then later when they go after Jensen in that final fight before the Baron, they just can't kill him. He gets the heal, like you said, as soon as he comes out of the stasis. Armao's right there to make sure that he doesn't drop to that last little bit of damage at the very end, and Team Liquid just having some clean team fighting here.
Yeah, honestly, I'm definitely impressed. I did have really high hopes for this Team Liquid roster. You know, their off-season moves very clearly positioned to just perfect the top of the line strategy they're going for. Steve has not been shy about talking about spending big to get the best player in every role that he can to win big for North America. He's slowly perfecting over time, making these adjustments, making these improvements. These two, I think, bode very well for the team. We'll have to, of course, track as it progresses, and they eventually get Santorin over as well. But even with Armao in there, I know the coaching staff had a lot of confidence in him, and they were definitely able to take care of business here.
Yeah, Armao's final KDA at the end of that game was 2-0-11. in a game that ended, 15-3? So you're looking at 13 out of 15 kill participation. Pretty darn good here for having to sub in as that backup jungler. But now we're going to go ahead and toss to a break. On the other side, we'll hear from the winning team for the Verizon post-game interview. You don't want to miss it.
Don't let the comfort fool you. Don't let the attention to detail lead you to believe that a Honda is a delicate machine. You'd be wrong. Underneath every surface that carries a Honda badge there has always been the capacity to amaze. From the core of everything we have ever built, all the way to the top of where you want to go. Rise to the challenge with the rugged performance of the Honda Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline.
Introducing Fantasy LCS, live now on the Sleeper app. Create a league. You are the coach. Draft your ultimate LCS team. Plan your roster and make coaching decisions each week. Compete against friends throughout the season. Rep your team. Talk.
Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS. We are here with another Verizon post-game interview alongside none other than Team Liquid top laner Alphari. You got a W to kick things off. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. It was really nice to, start our season with a win. Even though, CLG aren't expected to be like a great team, it's still like a really nice feeling.
Yeah, and we're just happy that you're here at this point, right? You're actually the first new face of the LCS that we've gotten to speak to on the broadcast. So from your words directly, I want to hear what made you decide to come join us in North America?
So, I thought that TL had like a really strong roster, and I thought that it would be like, honestly, I just thought it would be like the best chance to win a split and to make it to Worlds. And after like 2 years of not competing internationally for me, I really want to just go back and compete internationally and see how I compare against other top laners, and try to improve and just play against like good players basically. So yeah, that's why I joined, and that's why I'm here to go internationally and see what I can do.
And I'm sure that fire is another reason why Team Liquid wanted you to join the squad as well. This beginning of the season is all about figuring out how everyone stacks up. But as we were discussing a bit earlier, and as was also talked about on the analyst desk, you know, sometimes you just got to get right into it. You got here shortly before lock-in kicked off, also dealing with another jungler in the meantime. What have you and the rest of the team been doing to try and prepare as much as possible to be in top form right at the top?
Yeah, so I only had like 2 days of scrims with the team because, I mean, travel, it's a bit complicated. So for the past like month or so, I've actually been watching scrims, Santorin as well. We've been going on Discord at like, 1 a.m. at home from the UK and watching like the Academy top Jenkins play with the team. So I've been still learning about the team and trying to give input and, bonding with the other players as much as I possibly can, online from a different time zone. So we're able to do like still some preparation, but that was pretty much it, to be honest.
And I'm sure a lot of the long-term preparation for the team comes around the fact that you and Santorin are joining for the first time. There's a lot of excitement around that, whether it be the fact that you, an extremely lane-dominant individual performer, merging on a team with Santorin, a lot of early playmaking potential. How do you think you two can combine your powers to eventually evolve basically what Team Liquid is known for as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like we have like a super stable and strong bot lane and mid lane already on Team Liquid, right? And I think that me and Santorin is gonna allow us to just like win every lane basically if we want to. I think we're going to be like very flexible in draft. That's the idea. And we're going to be able to make a lot of early game plays and just try a lot of different strategies and just kind of see like what we want to do and try a lot of different stuff. So that's going to be really exciting when Santorin gets here to, start practicing for real. Right now it still kind of doesn't really feel real. Like I'm practicing, it kind of feels like I'm still just, playing solo queue at home or something because, I mean, I'm sitting at home. I just flew out like 2 days ago. So, I don't think it's really set in yet, but I'm really excited to try all the different stuff, all the different strategies that we can try.
And I'm sure as each game comes, you'll feel a bit more and more settled. But you did just mention the strength and the stability of the bot lane. We know Jensen to be a powerful performer as well. Team Liquid has a strong reputation with a lot of titles under their belt. Is there any pressure that you feel with coming into such an organization?
I mean, there's always pressure. That's part of the job as a performer. You have to be able to compete and, win. That's why I'm here. But I don't feel it like any more than usual. I'm very confident in myself. I don't think that I'm going to struggle. I know that if I practice and if I just, keep my mind focused, that I'm going to be great. So yeah, I don't feel too much pressure, to be honest. I feel fine.
Feeling light as a feather, apparently. And I am feeling extremely happy to have gotten to speak to you, Alphari. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
Everybody that's still tuning into the LCS, we are about to go to a commercial break, but in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to our new YouTube channel on youtube.com/LCS. On the other side of the break, we have our face-off between Evil Geniuses and the premiere of Perks on North American territory under the Cloud9 banner. Stay tuned.
Introducing Fantasy LCS, live now on the Sleeper app. Create a league. You are the coach. Draft your ultimate LCS team. Plan your roster and make coaching decisions each week. Compete against friends throughout the season. Rep your team, talk trash, and see if you've got what it takes to win your league. Download Sleeper now. The fantasy season begins on February 5th.